without a doubt, I think everybody here has it as a goal. It's a tough one to say the least, but you know, she and the rest of her teammates always kind of see that as the biggest carrot out there at the end of the year, and they've already been, you know, in the tournament a number of years. They've been to the final game, and you know, they know they have it with them to get the job done. But there's a lot of tough opponents to go through. You know, anybody from the WCHA has been a great opponent. You know, you've had the Mercyhurst over the years, the Cornells, Clarkson last year. So there's a good group of hockey teams out there, and you know, we've got to certainly come up with 3 excellent games to ever win this tournament. And we've probably had 2 and fell short a couple times. In other years, we've had you know, an epic battle at Cornell that left us a goal short or 3 overtime short. But you know, Pooh is like the rest of her team. They know what it takes. They come prepared, but in the end, you still have to sweep one more over the line than the other team. We haven't done that yet. I think there's important pieces that are playing the best hockey. I think it starts with you know, our goaltending. That Victoria Hansen's got on a good roll, confidence-wise. I think she's only let up maybe 7 goals in the last 5 games. You know, the defense seems to be playing a little bit tighter, but I don't think our team can play with just the defensemen. They have to play with the forwards back checking, the forwards really forechecking properly. We can't afford, I don't think, to play all out forecheck that often. We've got to, you know, shorten up the rink, shorten up the game, and be opportunistic with our offensive ability, but not play helter-skelter. You've got 3 talented kids on the second line. You know, Maddie Elliott both years has scored down there in the championship game in the Cape. Victoria Bach was Rookie of the Year in our league this year, and I think has 18 or 19 goals, and Rebecca Leslie is around 30 points or maybe north of that. So those kids also have very good resumes. Our third group right now, Rebecca Russo, Sam Sutherland, and Dakota Woodworth, you know, they may be a little more of a checking line role, but they've chipped in goals along the way. I think in the playoffs they may all have scored at least once, so that's a good sign. But you know, we're certainly carried by the first line, and but we've got to get production from one of those other 2 lines to you know, get by in the end here. I mean, I think he likes skating team. He likes kids who are thinkers on the ice, you know, but mostly thinking in a read-react form. You know, I don't think he's heavy on structure. I don't think he's a guy that's in their face all the time. But I think he's gonna ask them to play smart, to not make mental mistakes, but play relaxed and play free. And you know, I like to think I try to do the same thing here. That when it comes to playoffs, the kids aren't gripping their sticks too tight or worried about making a mistake, because there's plenty of mistakes made in a hockey game, and you know, when that happens, you just have to be mentally tough enough to move on to the next step and execute the next time the puck comes up the wall. You get a shot on goal, and his teams have done that very, very well. So, yeah, I think it was Christmas. You know, Sam Sutherland did a fantastic job, and I think Kayla gave us more fight on another line because she's a really hard-working, tough, strong kid. But we kind of thought about it, and we left the other 2 lines in a little bit different setup. Once we got that one together, then it was probably 10 games ago, I'm guessing, where we moved Victoria Bach from her natural position at left wing to center, center to left wing, and you know, brought Rebecca Leslie up there on that line. And you know, they've responded very, very well. But the big line has been, I think, right since the turn of the new year. And if I remember, their first game may have been over at BC, and while we got beat over there 4-3, they answered with 3 goals. So they started quick, and they haven't stopped yet. You know, I don't think it's something we've talked about a little. I think they know that from the beginning that's how you want to play, but sometimes you get just a little bit casual, or maybe you're not bringing your best team to the table, and I think that happened to us in probably a couple of big games. You know, at Cornell, the Beanpot game against Harvard, where we kind of lost our direction and let a 1-goal or 2-goal deficit become multiple goals. And you know, maybe the same could be said in the 5-0 game against BC. But I think the last few games we felt a little bit mental tougher. As you mentioned, we have played a little bit more physical, and if one person does it and then the next person does it, it's amazing how it does snowball and it does grow, and it turns into being more of a game result than a shift or a period result. And I think that's what they've done up recent time. But as I mentioned before, it's not just our defensemen. It's got to be our forward. We have to be tight gap all the time defensively. We've got to be able to cover for people getting slipped. You know, while we've got talented defensemen, There's a lot of talented forwards we play against, and they're going to beat you once in a while one-on-one, but without a doubt, the extended, physical play, and again, I think they're getting the confidence in their goalie. They had confidence in both Aaron and Victoria, but it's escalated a little bit here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Sarah is somebody who's got real good hands that skates well. We talked a lot this year about her not overhandling the puck. It can be a great asset and it can be a detriment if you have to stick handle it twice or 3 times before you make the next play or the next pass. And I think she's really simplified things, not stopping from playing offensively, but really when the time comes, just make the sweep pass, make the no stick handle pass, make the quick indirect up the wall, and that's less time in your zone, less time in a position to make an error, and I think that certainly has helped her. We shrunk the bench down a little bit to 5 defensemen after losing Caroline Campbell, and everybody's had to play that much more ice time, and they've answered the bell.
It's pretty great. I think we all look at Hyannis as a time where we strived as a team. At least the past 3 or 4 years we've won. So I think it's a pretty big win. I guess the first seed in NCAA, and we're just going to take that and focus on the next game against Wisconsin. Not only my play, but I think just in the team in general, I think we had good D-zone coverage, and we were all over them. I don't think they could get one quality shot off. I think that made a huge difference from the way we were playing before the playoffs. Now, they're pretty great. I mean, I think they've experienced all the plays, and they know deep down what they should be doing. No nervousness, no freshman mistakes, that's for sure. And that's huge for us on the blue line. Yeah, just picking up in front of the net, picking up the sticks, picking up, leaving Henson to get that rebound, but getting on that stick in front of the net is huge. And I think that's where we've made a huge difference, at least these past couple games. I think they're just pretty aggressive, I think. Just WCHA in general, bigger players, more physical, but I think we have speed on them. I think if we think 2 steps ahead of the game, we're going to get them. I think they go to that hard and they always back their D up.